Hello, my name is Martin. As an American union worker, I too have felt the crunch of the post 9/11 economic downturn in our country. I've been battling Bank of America for the last 10 to 11 months, trying to receive a loan modification on our mortgage. While we were current on our mortgage throughout last year, I knew that we needed upcoming relief on our biggest expense, just like most Americans, our mortgage payment. Up to August of 2011, we had prepaid our mortgage with the savings that we had because we knew we were going to have trouble making that payment beyond August of last year. Before those funds dried up, I contacted Bank of America with an attempt to start the loan modification process, and was told that unless I was non-current, there was nothing that could be done. They said I would have to go 3 months behind before any modification would be considered. Since November 2011, I have now submitted hundreds of pages of documentation, sometimes 2 and 3 times the same copies to different people, as documentation was either not received or lost. We were transferred from one representative to another, and I think the last counts we're up to our 6th representative as of today. I have a list of these people, some of which I have contact phone numbers if anybody cares to give them a jingle to help out with a loan modification. Our first rep was Dina Brown. I sent multiple copies of documentation to her, and nothing was done for months. No answer, no return phone calls, no letters. Our second representative only lasted a few days, and I don't have a copy of her name at this time. Our third representative is Ms. Hickey. She actually is a representative from the Office of the President of Bank of America, as I had written several letter of complaints to the bank, showing my disgust in this whole process. Gail Hickey's number is 1-877-471-4367, extension 034597. She failed to do anything with our loan modification, and once again passed the buck after I made my first YouTube video, and the department that handles YouTube complaints apparently is the Bank of America social media team. Our representative now is Elise Stallworth, who can also be reached at 1-877-471-4367, extension 226299. We received one offer from Ms. Stallworth that entitled a trial period that would increase our term to 40 years, adding over 150 payments and hundreds of thousands of dollars in principal and interest payments. It did lower the payment by a whopping $100 a month or so, but added an additional 10 years to our mortgage. I immediately contested this ridiculous offer and requested the offer to be resubmitted. At that point, I had created my first rudimentary YouTube video out of frustration, along with hundreds, if not thousands, of fellow Bank of America customers out there who find themselves in a similar situation. Within 24 hours, I was transferred to the Bank of America social media team. It does have some effect, but it doesn't seem to be enough. I thought perhaps we would make some progress with our new customer advocate, Elise Stallworth. A second offer came in with the terms exactly the same as the original mortgage, except that escrow, including insurance and taxes, were added to the monthly payment, so it came to $2,600 a month from the original $1,980. Of course, this is not any kind of a modification that I was looking for, as it really changed nothing. Ms. Stallworth indicated that we would only get this deal if we agreed to it verbally over the phone, and I assumed they were going to tag the missed payments towards the end of the mortgage with the same terms. What kind of business asks you to sign a contract verbally over the phone. We immediately requested the offer to be sent to us in writing, because at this point we would, take anything we could get. At this point we had received nothing. They had modified nothing, and at this point we just wanted to move forward. At least Stallworth finally agreed to send it. 2 weeks went by and we had received nothing. No contact, no email, no letters. My wife finally made contact with her and queried the delay. Now she said she would email the terms. Since when is email a formal communication form for contracts? My wife also requested copies of emails and documentation showing what they had sent to Fannie Mae at this point. Fannie Mae, by the way, is the investor in our particular mortgage, and Bank of America is apparently only the processor. Apparently, Ms. Stallworth said that showing copies of emails and documentation that they had sent was impossible. We suspect that Bank of America never even sent anything to Fannie Mae. Apparently, what she indicated over the phone was that we needed to agree to the proposal verbally over the phone before any submission could be made. Of course, I'm not going to agree to anything over the phone. I need to see a document in writing with all the fine print before I can submit to something that is 30 years of my life. This week, we also received a copy of a letter submitted to the Minnesota State Attorney General's office, which included a copy of the note and closing documents from our original mortgage. I had requested these documents to be sent to me from Bank of America just to verify that they had the proper documents on file. This request was made back in March by Gail Hickey. She never complied with my request. They never sent it to us, but for some reason now in July they sent copies of this to the State Attorney General's office and to my attorney with a cover letter stating, and I quote, "Please note that we will not be sending your client a copy of this communication and kindly request that you review it with them as soon as possible." This was written and sent by Mr. Matthew Oseas from the Bank of America Regulatory Relations team. Why they would send copies of this to everybody else but me is beyond my understanding. Mr. Oseas' letter also continues to talk about the lengthy process of modification, which for us is coming up on 1 year. He also indicates how income information becomes perishable. Most of the documents that I sent to them had nothing to do with income, so how this documentation can become perishable is beyond me. We did some research online, and I guess Bank of America takes the meaning perishable to a new level. Apparently there is a testimony of ex-Bank of America employees who are involved with the loan modification process showing that it is standard practice to shred incoming documents. And now I understand why I sometimes had to send documents 2, 3, sometimes 4 times. There are countless cases available to view online, and we would be more than happy to email these links to you. Please email us at our new email address. This is all lowercase, no spaces, no dots. bankofamericafraud123@gmail.com. Quite simple. Bank of America Fraud, F-R-A-U-D, 123@gmail.com. My wife and I will send you links to news reports, fraudulent practices, lawsuits, customer complaints, and all sorts of other illegal practices involving Bank of America. Also recommend that you contact your State Attorney General's office. I spoke with my State Attorney General's office directly today and was informed that the state of Minnesota has a settlement suit against Bank of America for fraudulent practices during loan modifications and other fraudulent business practices. Other states that I know of from my research also include Florida and California, and who knows which other 50 states could be involved. So far, my Attorney General, Ms. Lori Swanson, has written 2 letters to Bank of America on my behalf, and Mr. Parker Mertz from the Office of the Attorney General Customer Service Division has promised to pursue my case to a successful conclusion. The two letters that were sent to Bank of America, one directly to the president, Mr. Moynihan, were obviously ignored and most likely landed in Bank of America's shredder. What I recommend to you is do not give up. I will not give up. My wife will not give up. We will fight for our family. We will fight to keep the roof over our heads and keep our kids safe and warm and fed until Bank of America does what's right for the American people. Once again, if you need more details of how to go about this process, even though we're not successful yet, but guaranteed we will be, email us at bankofamericafraud123@gmail.com. This is Martin reporting. We'll keep you informed on any progress that we have made. Thank you.